All right, so section 8.2, we're not doing proofs, but proving triangles similar by angle. So, we're going to be using some of the terminology that we used first semester when we were talking about triangles being congruent. When we said, side, and side, angle, side, and stuff like that. So we'll be using some of those similar letter combinations. But since we're dealing with similarity, the letters mean different things. So we have a theorem, and 8.1 and 8.2 were in the first section that went over the perimeter and area and stuff like that. So, but angle, similarity, it basically just says if two angles are in one triangle, got ahead of myself there. If two angles in one triangle are congruent to two angles in another triangle, then the triangles are similar. So you might say, like, well, only two of them, but if you know two of them are congruent, you can figure out the third one's congruent. And so if you remember from Wednesday, we said that in similar polygons that all the angles are congruent, but the sides are proportionate. The sides aren't the same, but the angles are congruent. So let's see, we had these two triangles. And you say, are they similar? Well, right now, can't really tell. I know that they're both right angles, so they're both 90 degrees there, but I would need another angle congruent. Obviously, 26 and 64 are not congruent. However, I could figure out these third angles. So in this big one, if I had, 90 plus 64 is 154, and then minus 180, I get 26, and now angle C and angle K are congruent, and then angle D and angle G were both 90. So I have two angles that are similar. So if I figure that out, it's going to want me to write a similarity statement. So just like when we were talking about triangles being congruent and how to label that, the order of the first one doesn't matter. You just have to follow the order for the second one. So I could put triangles CDE, I could put DEC, I could put ECD, I could put whatever order I want. Now I just need to follow that order on the second one. So C goes with K, and D goes with G. So then H would go with E. So if you looked at your answers in the back of the book after you worked the problem out and you got a different letter combination, you may have done it correctly. Just make sure to tell whether you got it right or not. C goes with K, D goes with G, E goes with H. As long as they match up the same like those do, then you're fine. So you might have to look a little bit more to see if you got it right, if you got a different combination. Okay. Basically all the problems are going to be, how can I show, for lack of a better term, that these triangles are similar. So if I had something like this, um, is triangle AEB similar to triangle ADC? Well, I need two angles that are congruent. Well, so I know that angle ABE is congruent to angle ACD because they're both marked 52. And then here's where some old stuff pops up. Angle A and angle A. They both have angle A, so angle A is congruent to itself. Reflexive property. So you just need to list what two angles are congruent. Then we'll have angle for similarity. Okay, so let's see. There's a few different ones that you could say, just depending on what you see. I see automatically and so again, there's going to be vertical angles in the middle. Anytime I see that X, I know that's the first thing that my mind goes toward. So SVR, show that SVR is similar to UVT. Well, I could say that angle SVR is congruent to angle UVT because those are those vertical angles in the middle there. And then, remember the little red, I think they're like triangles more like in the book. They could be arrows, but that means parallel. So parallel is going to mean alternate interior angles typically. So you could say angle R is congruent to angle T. You could also say that angle S is congruent to angle U, depending on just how you see it. So really, like any two out of those three are sufficient to show that triangle SVR is similar to triangle UVT. It just depends on, again, like how you see it. Again, my brain says, hey, vertical angles, and then I would just pick one of those two alternate interior angles, and you're good. Okay, so all of your problems today, for the most part, are just how do you know, or like the first ones say, are determine whether the triangles are similar. If not, or if they are, write a similarity statement. If not, then you just put not similar. And it says explain your reasoning. So it's just kind of like labeling like the angles. And then it'll say show that the two triangles are similar. Write which angles are congruent, and then it's going to give you a picture, and it's going to say triangle ABC is similar to which other one. And so you just need to be looking for angles okay, I'm looking at this triangle, which angles can I figure out are congruent to two in this other triangle. You can just kind of fill in the blank. Okay, but it's only 14 problems. All right, make sure you're putting your name on your paper assignment at the top of the page. Otherwise, I'm going to send it back. So take that extra step. All right, have a great weekend, guys. Made it through the first week. And have a good 3-day weekend. And we'll see you on Tuesday. See you later.